Welcome back to the third episode in season 2 of the show that can't decide whether it's called Creepypasta Critiques or Creepypasta Critique. Now, the first one we're doing here is Backrooms, so let's read it. This pasta was inspired by a post from the X board on 4chan. Alright. That's how you know it's going to be good, because it's from 4chan. It was approximately 12:15 when I entered the Johnson County Community Health Clinic. I was there for an appointment I had set up a few weeks ago. Just a routine checkup. It wasn't a new place for me. I had been there a couple of times. However, the place had an old, nostalgic feel to it, as if it were a location from my childhood or something, and I could never pinpoint exactly what this feeling was or where it came from. Okay, the writing style is kind of confusing. I don't know how. It's just the way that the sentences are structured, they just don't sound normal. So far, it's starting out all right. It kind of started out of nowhere where it was approximately 12:15. You could have probably changed that, but just the sentence structure is weird to me. I don't know. As I walked in, an overwhelming feeling of deja vu swept over me. Yeah, because you had been there before. The hum of the flickering fluorescent lights, the white tile flooring, the muted beige paint that colored the walls. I noticed that there was a TV mounted in the corner, a smaller flat screen that was playing a short PowerPoint slideshow on loop with ads and events that were being held by the clinic. I passed the empty waiting area, the small area of the main room with magazines, children's playthings, and blue cushioned chairs, and approached. Wait, what? I passed the empty waiting area, a small area of the main room with magazines, children's playthings, and the blue cushioned chairs, and approached the woman at the front desk. She was sitting. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was just reading that wrong. Wow, I'm so stupid. She was sitting in her bluish gray office chair, looking at the spreadsheet of the same Windows XP desktop they've had since 2008. There was a sign-in sheet on the counter in front of me. Alright.
I have an appointment with Dr. Pebbins,
I asked. What time?
12:30.
I replied. She began typing something into the keyboard. Oh, yes, she responded. Gary Johnston?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll tell you. Yes, I'll tell the doctor. Please fill this out. She handed me a clipboard which had a simple fill-out form. I walked back in the waiting area, took a seat, and began to fill out the form. I was about halfway done with the filming. With filling in my information when I slumped back in my chair. I hadn't gotten much sleep. I hadn't gotten much sleep. Okay, I'm skipping sentences. The night prior, and I was exhausted. As I slumped back, I noticed something very peculiar. My head never hit the wall. In fact, it felt like it went in. I got up quite frightened and looked at the wall. Nothing. Not a single hole or dent had been made in the wall by my head, so I reached to touch the wall, and my fingers went through it. I recoiled in shock. What the heck is this? I thought as I reached to touch the wall again. Or was I? I thought as I reached to touch the wall again, only to find my fingers clipped through once more. Then suddenly I lost my balance, tripped, and fell directly through the wall. I fell face first into some dry, dirty tan carpeting. How did you trip? You weren't even moving. You were just moving your fingers. How clumsy do you have to be? Oh my god. Upon getting back up, I realized that I was in a completely different room. Well, not really a room per se. More so a set of rooms, all of which connected by openings. The walls were covered in gross tan pattern wallpaper. There was also an overwhelming stench of moist carpet. I turned back around and tried to put my hand back through the wall, and I know, and it wouldn't go through. Okay, what the frick? I muttered. I looked back into the room. There was no windows, no doors, nothing on the walls, other than that disgusting wallpaper, of course. It was completely empty aside from a single plastic blue school chair. At this point, the only thing going through my mind was fear. I would be really confused. I wouldn't be scared. And the repeating thought of, I need to leave, on the loop in my head. What? On the loop in my head? What? I started running through the rooms, desperately trying to find an exit. But no avail. There was no exit. There was my permanent location until I died. Was this my permanent location until I died? There'd been a way out. I wasn't going to be left there, right? Eventually someone would notice that I was gone. But nobody did. Then in the distance I heard footsteps. But not those of humans. At least not a normal human. Alongside the footsteps was a gurgling snarl, like that of an angry animal. It began to run. I ran as fast as I could from whatever the heck was approaching me. I didn't want anything to do with it. I ran for what seemed like forever, but I was always back in the same room I started in. At least it looked like the same room now that I could tell them apart. So I sat down, defeated. A feeling of dread filled my body. As I started to cry, I was going to die there. I'm still there. I haven't left. I've accepted my fate. In fact, I can actually hear footsteps. I wonder who that is. Okay, now let's read some of the reviews. Let's read 3 of them. Write more, please. Why did I get the chills? I feel like I'm in the doctor's office. Hey, I know the person that you heard walking. God save you if you heard footsteps. Oh my god, what? This isn't no sleep. You don't have to pretend that this is real. Really? Oh my god, this is... The picture reminds me of how my old school looked. Great story. It might be an illusion, or a dream, or a fake story. The Backrooms are real. I'm there right now. No, you're not. Because this is a fake story. This is fiction. Wonder how the end is. What? This story was on YouTube a million times, from animated to live action films, but this is still a great story. What? How would there be okay, so if there were live action films and readings and stuff, how would that make it any worse? Do I go on a YouTube channel and I find a reading of I don't know, a dog named Grimm, and I'm like, ah, yeah, bro. This makes it way worse. What? What? Huh? Speaking of a dog named Grimm, this reminds me a lot of it, with the formatting of the story, but I guess that's kind of a segue into my review of the story, so let's get into that. So the concept is really cool, but it's that raises the points, but at the same time, the points lower for this story because they stole it off of X. So yeah, the formatting is really weird. There's no really real problems with the spelling or grammar. The protagonist is just we don't know anything about a protagonist. The story's pacing was a little off, but I really like the concept, and yeah, I feel like this is one of the only things going for it. But the concept is so cool that I'm just gonna have to give this a 5 out of 10, at the most. But it's really interesting. I want to see other authors tackle it, and I bet there are, because this seems to be really popular. There's 61 comments on it, so it must be like really popular. So yeah. Anyway, check out my Discord link in the description, and ask on Discord or YouTube if you want our channel promoting a future video for free. And this is Quilted Live signing out.